Alright, so here is an over-the-shoulder Ads Manager and system walkthrough where I try to give you all the important hints and details and things I know about Ads Manager and setting up campaigns. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump in. Before I go to Ads Manager, I quickly want to make you aware of the difference between Ads Manager and Ad Center. So you most likely, if you've ever posted a post, are redirected to Ad Center. So on your page, let me quickly go to mine, you have the Ad Center and you can create ads in here. This is not the environment where we want to operate in because we are limited when it comes to campaign objectives and the settings that we can make. So please know that Ad Center is something different than Ads Manager and that we want to operate in Ads Manager, which looks like this and can be found at business.com/adsmanager. The same with Ads Manager also applies for Business Suite and Business Center. So most likely you will be redirected to a place that's called Business Suite when you want to be in Business Manager. So here is how Business Manager looks. I already changed my settings so I can't go back to the Business Suite. But if you are in a Business Suite, all you have to do is go to the bottom left corner, go to the settings, say give feedback, switch to Business Manager, give them a random reason, and then you will be prompted here. We need Business Manager because here's where we will add other users, we will add our page, our ad account, our Instagram account, our pixel, we will verify our domain in here under brand safety, and we will add payment methods, and we will add our business info and verify our business. I have linked for you a detailed step-by-step checklist on how to correctly set up Business Manager so that it's protected and it won't get shut down by Facebook. So please check that out and make sure that your systems are set up correctly. So that's the very first thing. The next thing is Ads Manager. In Ads Manager, there are a few places that I want to show you before we dive right into this interface. So the first thing that I want to make you aware is that you should add a payment method directly here in the billing. And ideally, you also add a fallback payment method because if Facebook tries to charge your card and it can't, then you'll have a problem because they will shut down your account. So in payment settings, when you go to billing, then you go to payment settings, here's where you want to add multiple payment options, okay? And this is also in the billing is also where you find all your invoices for your accounting and things like that. So let me go back to Ads Manager. So you can see I can also navigate here from the Business Manager, open Ads Manager. And now I'm in my Ads Manager. Before coming here, I want to show you two other places where you will be. One is the Events Manager. This is where you find your pixel ID and where you can see all events that were tracked because you've set them up on your website. I will link a video for you about the pixel and about the events and so that you understand this. And I will also link a video for you for the aggregated event measurements. So setting up a pixel and configuring your aggregated event measurements is something you need to do once you start to run conversion campaigns. In the very beginning, to fill your audience, to sell your beta, to relaunch your beta, for all of that you don't even need a conversion campaign, so you don't even have to worry about this. I want you to start really with simple ads. Yeah, so start really with the low risk, iOS 14 friendly, low budget, high return ads. Talking about those, now I want to show them to you in Ads Manager. So this is the Ads Manager interface. We have here the resource center that just informs you about updates, and if there's a task to complete, it would let you know in here, and it gives you step-by-step of what you need to do. Be sure to do all the changes for the iOS 14 update. I will link for you a few videos that will tell you everything you need to do for iOS 14, and be sure that this is all green in your account and that all tasks are done. Then we have the campaigns level. So here is where you see basically where you set the goal and the intention of the whole campaign. On the ad set level is where you select the audience and the placement. So who do you want to show your ads to, and where do you want to show them? Do you want to show them on the Facebook newsfeed, in the Instagram stories? Do you want to use automatic placements? So I will show you all of that in a second. And here is the ad level where you have your actual ad visual and copy, and another element when you have lead gen, then you have your form in here as well. Okay, so what you can do here is here you can customize your columns, and you can look at, or you can see at what amount of data, what time frame you want to look at. The people that have been following me know that I've lost my ad account in the beginning of the year, and I just started over with this new one. But yeah, so this is why ad spend is really low for me. But here you can adjust the time frame you want to select to look at your data. Here in Customize, you see the data sets that you have. So you can, for example, my favorite columns to look at are performance and clicks, because as I say in the planner, I can look at how well my ads are performing, or how well. I always like to first look at the audience level. So first KPI I like to look at is the CTR. So ideally this is above 4%. In my case this is a little bit low, which means that I should test a new ad visual, a new ad creative. But after the CTR, my click-through rate is relatively good, but Facebook rewards me here because my ads are fairly engaging with really, really low CPMs. This is why my overall cost per click is very acceptable, and why I'm happy with the cost per lead. Very happy with the cost per lead. Okay, so these are the numbers I usually like to look at. CTR all, link click-through rate, so ideally, or positive above 4, above 1.5, cost per click below $1, and then CPMs should also not be high. Okay, so you can also see I have a couple of ad sets, so a couple of different targeting options in here, and that I have selected a CPO campaign. What is a CPO campaign? In this case, for this campaign, I have selected the campaign budget optimization, which means that I let Facebook decide how it wants to distribute the budget, the daily budget of the campaign, which is €20, to the ad sets and the ads that I'm using. So they get a different, as you can see, in the last 7 days, or let's say, yeah, in the last 7 days, they got a different amount. So this ad spend got more from Facebook, or this ad set got more spend from Facebook than this ad set, because Facebook saw more opportunity here. And here you can see I have a couple different audiences. One is an interest mix. You can see I'm targeting United States and Canada. These are all the interests that I have. Because it's a strategic freebie, I have it really, really broad, with all kinds of competitors and people that are in my niche. People that are in my niche that my ideal client most likely is interested in, and narrow down by social media marketing, so I know these people try to do something online. It's an interest-based targeting that works really, really well for me. So this is a saved audience, because I'm working with detailed targeting, okay? This is detailed targeting expansion. This is where you would allow Facebook to reach people outside of the targeting that you have set here. I have not made good experience with this. Basically, my results were always worse when I used this. What made sense was the lookalike expansion. So now let's look into the other targeting. The other targeting is a lookalike based targeting. So again, I'm having people from the United States and Canada. And here I have a lookalike audience of the top 1% of people that have engaged with my lead form within the last 90 days. So because this ad is for my strategic freebie at the moment, which are Instagram Reel templates for coaches and course creators. And you can see here, this is the form on Facebook. So people see the ad, then they click on the ad, then they ask to give their email, need to agree to the privacy policy, and then I tell them, hey, you're all set, let's connect on Instagram in the meantime. Because this is a form, I tell Facebook, I want everyone that has clicked on the ad and engaged here as my custom audience, and then I want a lookalike audience, so give me the top 1% of people in the United States and Canada that look exactly from a data point perspective like these people. So where you build these custom audiences and lookalike audiences is in here. So detailed targeting, you can basically always dial in. To create a lookalike audience, you first need to create a custom audience. So in Audience Manager, we can say create audience, custom audience, and now you can see what seed audience options you have. So what audience types you can use as the basis for either retargeting, because you want to show ads to these type of people again, or as a basis for lookalike because you want to show ads to people that are like these people. Okay, so your sources could be people that have been on your website, and there you can be very specific. So you can say all website visitors, people that have submitted and then have become a lead, people that have completed a purchase, people that have visited specific pages. So, for example, everyone in the last 30 days that has been on my sales pitch, which has in the URL inner circle, I want a custom audience of all of these people. Then give your audience a name, describe it, and then say save. Once you've created your custom audience, then you can create a lookalike audience based from it. This is where you go to lookalike. Then you can click in here, you see other, and here you see all the custom audiences you have built. You select one, you select the location, so for example, United States. 1%, I recommend to not go up further than 1%, except if you have a conversion campaign, for example, because you have SLO and you need to scale, then you can go up further, especially now post iOS. But for your strategic freebie, I always recommend to be with 1%. And then you say, create audience. Oh, I already created this audience, so I can't create it again, but you say create audience, and then your lookalike audience just pops up in here, and then you can select it on the ad set level by just dialing it in and selecting it. It will be there automatically available. So now let's look a little bit more into custom audiences. You can also build a custom audience from people that have viewed a video. So let me actually show you the progression. So you have a new ad account and it's cold, it doesn't have any data yet. We need to build up our data set very strategically. This is also why it's key that you have a strategic lead magnet that really ties in with your backend offer. The very first lookalike audience that we can build, and we always want to work with lookalike audiences because it's a lot cheaper, is the ad engager lookalike. So the people that have stopped the scroll and engaged with your ad. So now let's select my page. Have multiple pages. And now you can see I could select everyone that has engaged with my page, who visited my page, but I want to say everyone that has engaged with a post or ad, and then you select the longest time frame. Or depending if you shift focus and now you have a new strategic freebie and this has just been running for 14 days, then, or for 14 days, then I would just say 30 days, like a shorter time frame, and say these are ad engagers, 30 days. Okay, so this is the first seed audience that I would build, and this is the first lookalike audience that I would test after letting my freebie run for 1 to 2 weeks. I always recommend that you use a video mockup in your ads. So let me show you what I mean by video mockup. So here's my freebie again. And you can see I'm scrolling through my own reels. The purpose, or the thought process behind it is not only because video usually is more engaging and gets better cost per result. The reason is also that I can build a higher intent seed audience and a higher intent lookalike audience soon. Because an ad engager, if I build a seed audience and lookalike audience from ad engagers, I just know they have stopped to scroll and checked out my ad, but I don't know how long they have checked out my ad. With a video view custom audience and lookalike audience from that, I can say, okay, my video is 15 seconds long, so I want someone that has watched 15% of my video, and then I can choose my video that has now like over 23,000 views already, and I can say, okay, Reels ads viewers 50%. Create an audience, create a lookalike audience from it in, let's say, the United States. Let's see if we have enough in Canada. Yeah. So now I'm not having enough in Canada. Okay, then just the United States. And now I have a lookalike audience of everyone that has watched at least 50% of this video. Because my ad will be very relevant to people that have watched at least 50% of the ad because they stopped to scroll and checked it out for longer. So this is, after the ad engager, the next lookalike audience that you can build. After that, the next one would be people that have clicked on a call to action button or that have engaged with a lead form. So people that clicked on a call to action button you would find in here. Lead form engagers you would find in here. And you can say everyone that has opened this form, lowest intent, that has opened but didn't submit it, everyone that has opened and submitted. So you can, this will of course would be the highest intent, so this will be then the next lookalike for me to test. What I could also do is, I could also come in here and say custom audience and upload a list based on my email list, because people go via Zapier integration into my email list. So I could also upload the email list that I've collected from the people that have opted in for this freebie in here. And say, no, this doesn't have values. Upload the list and then let Facebook find people that are similar. So create a custom audience of these people. Then I could retarget them with other offers. Or I could also use it to create a lookalike audience from the people that have successfully landed on my email list. I could even go a step further and I could say I only upload the people that have landed on my email list and actually opened the email, because a few people opt in, but they don't actually open the email and get the freebie. So I only want people that actually opt in, and open and get the freebie. And I only want people that look like that, based on the lookalike. So this is this area, the audience manager, and where you dial this in. Okay, so going back to, let's go through one from scratch. So when you want to launch a new ad, you want to say create. Very first thing you do, and you also have this in the Facebook planner that I've linked down for you below, is that you choose your campaign objective. And there are only a few campaign objectives that I like to use when working with coaches and course creators and for myself. So The very first and highly recommended one right now for me is the lead generation campaign, where you have this form on Facebook where you don't need the pixel setup and that you can use to not only grow your email list but also either your Facebook group or Instagram at the same time. Another campaign objective that works is video view campaigns. So you could also set up a content funnel where you show people valuable video content and then use that to build your audiences and your retargeting. This approach I can recommend someone that is really an expert in this approach. Her name is Laurel Portier. She also has a membership around ads for coaches. It's just a slightly different approach than mine. I just prefer to have people's email addresses because my ad account has been shut down multiple times. My page has been hacked. So many of my friends' Instagrams, not only friends, but like colleagues, other coaches' Instagram accounts have been hacked. And for me, an email address is an asset. So I know what I'm trading for. And if I was really, really mindful in designing my strategic freebie, I can control the customer journey a lot better than with the video view campaigns. But it's definitely a viable option, still extremely smart after iOS 14. And if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. I'm not working a lot with it. I also don't do traffic engagement. I only do to add social proof to ads that already work really well. So I would use the existing post and set up an engagement campaign that adds additional likes and comments and shares. But it's something that I do to optimize a winner, not something you need to know as a beginner. So lead generation is really here. The next one is conversion. So every time we want the user to perform a certain action on our website, we need to select the conversion campaign and then optimize for a conversion event. Okay, so we can now look up I will link this for you, the event checklist. Okay, so your Facebook pixel, now we're back at the pixel, so your Facebook pixel base code would connect Facebook to your website and allows them to send data back into their system and then optimize based on this data, needs to be on all your pages. And on some pages, in addition to this code, you need to add within the code. So let me show you this. So below here, below the page view event, you need to add an additional line depending on what page it is. Okay, so on the page after an opt-in page, on the page that comes after someone gives their email address and says, yes, I want your freebie, you need to add this snippet to your code because you want to let Facebook know we just collected a lead. Okay, and without that, you will never be able to optimize your campaigns. So here are the typical optimization events that exist. It's lead for lead generation campaign. So it's lead for strategic freebie and tripwire. So on the thank you page of the strategic freebie. It's complete registration for webinar or VSL funnel that you gate with an opt-in form. It is initiate checkout if you have a self-liquidating offer and if you have an order form on a separate page. Schedule if it's scheduling a call with you. Purchase if it's a purchase. Trial if someone opted in for a membership trial. Or subscribe if someone is subscribed to your coaching membership. But here are all the details that you basically need to know about what type of page needs what event. So definitely check that out. And I will link the list. So you can optimize for all of these events as long as they're set up on your page and adjusted in the aggregated event measurement settings. Video will be linked for you. Okay, so let me show you this quickly here. Where you would select what event you optimize for would be in here on the ad set level. You need to select your pixel and then you can see what event you can optimize for. Okay, so on the tripwire funnel, after the iOS 14 update, I actually recommend to optimize for the lead event instead of the purchase event. If you're sending traffic to a self-liquidating offer funnel, you need to optimize for the purchase event. If you send traffic to a webinar funnel, you need to optimize for the complete registration event. Good. So, lead generation campaign, conversion campaign, if we want someone to perform a desired action on our website, and we need to let Facebook know what the desired action is by adding the events to the page and by selecting that we're optimizing for it on the campaign. And then another campaign objective that I like to work with more since the iOS 14 update is reach, and I like to do that as a retargeting campaign. So I like to, for example, with my bootcamp, I like to show to my whole warm audience, I upload my email list, I select everyone that has engaged with my Facebook page and Instagram in the last 365 days. I want to reach them with the message that I have the bootcamp, and because I want to reach a maximum of the audience, I select the reach campaign objective. So this is one that I really like to use since iOS 14. Okay, so this was a very brief walkthrough. Again, you have the campaign level where you select the intention of the campaign that you're running and where you can decide if you want to set your budget here or if you want to have it on the ad set. I always test my my targeting by putting the budget on the ad set, and once I found winning audiences, I pull it on the front and turn it into a campaign budget optimization campaign. Then we have the ad set level where we basically select our optimization event if it's a conversion campaign or confirm the terms of a lead generation campaign. I don't recommend to set an end date to your campaign. This just always gave me worse results, but if you would want to do it, you can do it here, but I don't recommend it. In here, you can dial in your audiences. So this is where you can select your lookalike audience once you've created it. You can dial in where you want to reach people. And of course, age and detailed targeting. And here is where you select the placement. So if you want Facebook to decide where to show your ad, or if you want to manually decide, okay, I only want to show it on Instagram and I only want to show it in the feed. The more restrictions you make here, the higher your cost per result will be. So the old recommendation was to have audiences that are really laser targeted and to select your placements manually. The new recommendation already since a couple of years is when you can, automatic placement and make your audiences as broad as possible while still making sense. And then we have the ad set level. This is where you upload this is where you can give your ad a name. So if you have more ads, it makes sense to give it a name where you recognize it because these preview images are not always accurate. You select your Facebook page and your Instagram account that you have connected in Business Manager. You can say that you want to create an ad, or on most posts you can also say use an existing post. And then you upload your media in here. You can say upload. You dial in your copy. This is the main text. Your headline, your call to action, and here is where you create your own Facebook form. Be careful with forms. Once you've set them up, you cannot edit them, which is why you don't want to make any typos. So here you name your form. I always optimize for more volume. I always skip the intro. I always say that the background image should be from the ad. I prefer to only ask for the email address because it gives me a much higher opt-in rate and lower cost per lead. And I tell them something like, hey, what's your best email address to send you this and other valuable tools? This is where you link your privacy policy. If you don't have a website yet, it's enough to put a privacy policy in a Google Doc and link the Google Doc here. And here is where the magic happens. This is your on Facebook form thank you page. This is what you can use to let people know that there are freebies on the way that they need to wait a little bit and that they should check out your Facebook group or your Instagram in the meantime. And when you think about this thank you screen, this is still copy. So you need to kind of sell your checking out your Instagram or being in your Facebook group. So let people know why they should join and put yourself in their shoes. Because I'm a super great expert and I will give you all the tips, it's not attractive. To be part of a like-minded community that also does that, that's attractive. So why would someone want to be part of a group? It's not to follow an expert. That's just a learning we had, and a typical beginner mistake as well is to not put yourself in the client's shoes and to say, okay, why would they even want to join my group or connect with me on Instagram? Okay. When you have the lead ads set up, you need to make sure that the email addresses people gave you land in your email automation tool. And the tool I like to use two tools. One is Zapier and one is Integromat. Integromat is a little bit cheaper and you can find a tutorial on it about how to connect it with your email autoresponder on my YouTube channel. Okay, that was the walkthrough. Please let me know if you have any questions. I hope this was helpful and yeah, see you in the group.